day of Paul's trial saw the vast judgment hall filled by an eager, restless crowd that surged and pressed to the front to see and hear all that should take place.
I told you shouldn't have come. You'll be trampled to death.
And I told you I can take care of myself. I'm just as anxious as you are to see what an old man looks like who's completely in the hands of Satan and has committed every crime in the book.
Is he supposed to look different from anyone else?
All criminals show it in their hardened face, shifty eyes. A guilty atmosphere seems to surround them.
You should know. You come here to about every trial, don't you?
Yes.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Nero, His Majesty, Emperor of Rome, ruler of the world, enters. With him are his ministers, princes, kings, and distinguished visitors from faraway places. Bend the knee.
You may arise.
Long live Nero, ruler of the world! Long live Nero, ruler of the world!
Captain, bring in the prisoner.
Yes, sir, your majesty.
What a magnificent monarch Nero is.
He's haughty.
He has a right to be. As a young man in his early 30s, he has reached the height of earthly power, authority, and wealth.
At the lowest depths of crime and iniquity.
No one dares to question his authority. Kings lay their crowns at his feet. Millions bow in obedience to his mandates. Someday he will be worshipped as a god. Nero will be... Oh, there he is, the prisoner.
The man is old. Terribly old.
Stand here in front of the emperor.
Oh, look at Nero. He's angry. And look at the prisoner, Paul. Aged, no money, without counsel, not a friend at his side. Yet he stands before the great Nero, with his face showing strength of character and a heart that's at peace with God.
And a smile on his lips. This is no criminal. Everything about him shouts his innocence. Yet Nero will find him guilty and sentence him to death.
My husband and emperor was impressed by the eloquent defense of the prisoner.
Yes, my dear, it was a forceful defense. But I was impressed more by his manner. I felt a desire to be kind to the aged and I am sure innocent Paul, at least for the time being. Therefore, I sent him back to prison instead of having him put to death.
Timothy, I understand you've heard from Paul.
Yes, Mark. Just yesterday a runner brought me a letter from him.
Good. Will you read it to us in the church this coming Sabbath day?
No. Perhaps I shall read part of it sometime, but this letter is mostly for me personally. Besides, I probably won't be here on the Sabbath day.
No. Why not?
I intend to go to Paul. I only hope I can get there in time.
In time? For what?
Paul wrote the letter after his trial before Nero.
Oh, the trial is over then. What was the verdict?
At least Paul wasn't put to death. Nero sent him back to the dungeon without making any kind of decision. But Paul feels certain that it is only a matter of time until Nero will make a decision, and the sentence will be death.
And you're hoping to get there before that happens?
Yes, Paul asked me to come. He sounded so lonely, said that Crescens and Titus had gone on missions and that Demas had deserted him, even turned his back on Christianity. So only Luke is still with Paul.
Poor Paul.
Poor Demas.
Poor Demas? Why waste pity on him?
Paul can look forward to eternal life, but unless Demas repents, what can he look forward to?
You're right. Poor Demas.
But my immediate concern is for Paul. So I must go to Rome and give Paul what comfort I can.
I'd like to accompany you, Timothy. I deserted Paul once. Although I know he's forgiven me, I'd like to talk to him again and thank him once more for his kindness to me. May I go with you?
I'm glad you want to. Paul asked that I bring you, and I could use some assistance, for Paul wants me to stop at Troas on the way and bring his coat and some books he left there.
It must be cold in that dungeon. With winter approaching, maybe we'd better take an extra blanket or two along.
Good idea. But don't let me forget the books. Paul wrote especially the books.
That sounds just like Paul, putting his beloved books before his personal comfort.
Well, let us make preparations for the journey.
What a wonderful surprise.
Hello, it's good to see you, Paul.
Did you remember my books?
Yes, they're still with our baggage.
Thank you. I'm so glad you came.
I have decided about Paul. Those Christians are appearing everywhere, even here in my own imperial household. I will not tolerate such open rebellion. Paul, as their leader, must die. Captain, take Paul to the place of execution and behead him.
Paul, prisoner of Rome, the Emperor has passed sentence upon you. Being a Roman citizen, you cannot be subjected to torture. Therefore, you shall be beheaded. This is the place of execution.
Thank you, Captain. You've been very kind.
Kind? I am your executioner. Soon this blade will descend and end your life. Yet, you seem almost cheerful. Don't you hold any malice towards me or anyone?
Captain, I look not at your blade, nor this place of my death. Rather, I look to the great beyond with certainty and with joyous hope. The time of my departure from this earth is at hand, but I am ready, for I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord shall give me at that great day. And not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing.
I have fought a good fight.
What did you say, dear?
Oh, nothing. I was just repeating what Paul said just before he died.
Paul's death bothers you, doesn't it?
I'm not sure bothers is the right word, Clesta. If only I could have the same assurance that Paul had.
You mean the assurance of life after death?
Yes.
You want to be a Christian?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad. Because I want what Paul had, too.
Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord shall give me at that great day, and not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing. Yes, that's what I want, a crown of righteousness,